2 weeks into my carnivore diet, and you simply won't believe what's happened. Today is day 15 of being on the carnivore diet, and if you haven't been watching my videos about the carnivore diet so far, I'll just give you a quick recap of what I'm doing. So on my diet, I'm only eating meat, eggs, salt, water, electrolytes and butter. That's it. Hardcore, they say. And I'm up to day 15. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my 2-week recap and just talk about the good, the bad and the ugly. Things that were ugly since I've been on the carnivore diet, and I had to ask my beautiful wife for some input on this one because I couldn't really figure out what was considered to be ugly, but we did find something. Well, we found two things actually. The first one was my breath smells of meat, and the second one is my body odor, my skin odor is smelling of meat also. So two things, or one thing I expected, probably the bad breath or the meat breath, and the second one, the body odor from meat. I didn't expect that one. So lots of brushing the teeth with some mouthwash and lots of showers to keep the wife happy on that one. But yeah, two interesting things that have happened in the last 2 weeks since I've been on the carnivore diet. Bad breath, or meat breath as we call it now in our family, and the skin odor is also smelling of meat. Very interesting what other people pick up. So why don't we go now and talk about the bad things that have happened since I've been on the carnivore diet for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so what could possibly be bad, right, about being on the carnivore diet? Well, two things that are affecting me as I head into week 3 of the carnivore diet. And the first one is, because I'm a full-time professional athlete, I've found that my energy levels have completely dumped. So my running is extremely hard, my recovery is hard, I'm very, very tired, and I'm just feeling exhausted. And this is quite interesting because the rest of the time I have a lot of energy. In fact, I feel energized throughout the whole day, and everybody that I've read in research about talks about increased energy levels, and this is one of the amazing benefits that I was expecting to get from the carnivore diet. But when you separate it into exercise and physical activity, I'm an ultra distance runner, so I'm not just doing 100-meter sprints, I'm doing long distance running. It's really, really impacted my performance. Now, I've done a lot of reading on this, and a lot of people have read literature and research from Dr. Shaw, who's a so-called expert on carnivore diet, and he says that in working with some athletes, endurance athletes that he's been working with, it takes around about 4 weeks or even longer for these athletes to go into full fat adaptation and for their energy levels to come back. So I'm only 2 weeks into the diet, and of course I'm going to hang in there because I want to see what's on the other side. But at the moment, my energy levels when I'm running are very, very low. My recovery from my runs take a long time, much longer than before, and contrary to that, I'm having high energy levels for the rest of the day. So that's one thing that I consider bad as far as the carnivore diet goes. The second thing is the lack of variety in the diet. I'm somebody who's lived my life traveling and living around the world. I love different cuisines. I've been brought up on living with different types of food, and to switch and to transition so quickly to a diet that consists of only a few ingredients has been mentally challenging for me. It's got a lot easier in the second week. I don't think I'm anywhere near as focused on it as I was in the first week, but I still find the lack of variety at this stage not difficult to deal with. It's just something that I've highlighted and that I feel, and that yeah, it's a bad thing for me at the moment because I'm trying to focus on all the benefits of this particular diet. So just the two things on my list of bad things from the diet, the first one being the lack of energy for my running and the recovery from the run, and the second one being the lack of variety in the diet. But let's go and talk about all the great things that have happened. Now 2 weeks into the carnivore diet from my side, and we're talking now about all the good things that have happened, and I saved the best to last because there are a lot of good things that I'm experiencing by being on the carnivore diet. I started this diet not with a notion to lose weight. I started this diet to really clean my body up and to see if I could get a performance advantage as a professional athlete. That was one of the things that I was looking for. Carbohydrates that I've been on most of my life haven't worked for me. I have lots of ups and downs during the day, and during races I have a lot of sugar bonks and a lot of digestive issues. So in researching this diet over the last year, I've connected with a lot of people who are endurance athletes who have been on the carnivore diet, who swear by it, and I was keen to give it a go, understanding that everybody's body reacts in a different way to this particular diet. So let's talk about the good things that have happened to me in the last 2 weeks since I've been on the carnivore diet. The first one is I've got an increase in the amount of strength that I have. I haven't been a strong character throughout my life. I'm not a guy that goes to the gym and pushes hundreds and hundreds of pounds, but I have felt stronger through my core exercises that I do every day. I've got stronger in my overall general strength, and my core is getting stronger as well. So this has been a really big benefit for me, just feeling a lot stronger. So that's the first one that I put down to the carnivore diet. The next on my list is my body is getting very lean. So I have dropped a little bit of weight, over about 2 kilograms or 4 pounds since I started the diet. My weight actually was fluctuating a little bit there for a while, and I think that was a case of how many meals I was having, how much meat I was consuming, how much water I was consuming, electrolytes, all those things. And I think my body took a little bit of time to balance out, and it's still doing that. So I'm getting to the stage now where I feel as though I'm pretty lean, but I'm still getting leaner, and looking forward to that process, because the lighter and leaner I can be as a professional long distance endurance athlete, the better for my performances. Next on my list is gut health, and I have never had such a healthy feeling gut in my 58 years on this planet. So it's been an extraordinary turnaround. I have a very long sense of calmness during the day in the gut. I don't have any bonks at all, up and downs during the day, with sugar completely removed from my diet. It feels really, really good. So absolutely thrilled with the way that my gut feels as a result of being on carnivore diet. And this is something that yeah, I just don't want to go back to those old ways of having a lot of gut inflammation. I used to eat a lot of foods. I loved bread, I loved pasta, all those things that were inflaming my stomach with those carbohydrates, and I don't get any of that anymore because I'm simply not eating those foods, and my gut has really settled down. Obviously all the great nutrients in the meat, the protein, the magnesium, potassium, everything I'm getting from there is really helping my stomach settle down. So very, very happy with the gut health. Something I wasn't expecting and I wasn't looking for was my hair's actually getting thicker. So it's growing back around about the same speed. I always have my hair very short because again, I'm a runner and I just like to have it short, but it is getting thicker in its intensity. I wasn't losing my hair, I wasn't going bald, I wasn't focused on it, I wasn't worried, I wasn't paranoid, but my hair is actually getting thicker. So that's a byproduct, and some people might say that's a good thing. So I put that on my good list. Now the next thing that I've noticed is my sleep patterns. I'm sleeping so much better. I'm going to bed more tired, and I'm waking up a little bit earlier. So all good signs there. And I didn't used to be a terrible sleeper, but I've just felt that my REM sleep, my deep sleep, has become better during the night. So that's a good thing after 2 weeks of being on the carnivore diet. One other thing that's happening after 2 weeks is I'm not getting as hungry anymore during the day at all. So I'm almost down to 1 meal a day. I haven't cracked it yet because again I'm running and I just want to make sure I've got enough fuel and energy, and I want to get over this terrible feeling I've got of not having enough energy while I'm running. So I don't want to skip another meal and go down to 1 meal a day until I've worked that out and experimented enough to get that real feeling around what's causing me not to have that energy. Keeping salt levels up, keeping electrolytes up, all those things, protein levels, always important for a runner. And before I go down to 1 meal a day, I'm going to make sure I've got that right. Now I may not go down to 1 meal a day. I'm just saying that at the moment after 2 weeks I'm feeling like I could go to 1 meal a day and not be hungry at all outside of that. So that's I'm putting that on the good sign list because it feels good to get down to that. Now the last thing on my good list of things that have happened to me in the last 2 weeks of being on the carnivore diet, a lot of people mention this in posts online, the mental clarity. My brain, my head, my energy in my brain has just gone into overdrive. It's really, really incredible. It's a bit like, I don't drink Red Bull, never have, or coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker either, but I would imagine that if you're somebody that takes those substances, that it wires your brain in a certain way, it makes you pop. And that's what I'm getting from my mental clarity. My mind feels it's switched on, buzzing all the time. So it doesn't matter whether it's first thing in the morning or whether it's last thing at night, my mind is absolutely switched on all the time, which is a great feeling as well, giving me a lot of mental clarity in the things that I'm working on and the other things that I'm doing in my life, and also when I'm running, because it's really important to stay mentally focused when you're running, to make sure that you're taking your hydration at the right time, that you're focusing on your form and your technique. All these things are very important when it comes to mental clarity. So really, really excited around the mental clarity aspect that I'm getting from being on the carnivore diet. So there we go, there's my list of good, bad and the ugly after being on the carnivore diet for 2 weeks. Am I going to stick to it? Yes, I am. I'm going to stick to the carnivore diet. I want to pop out the other side of this fat adaptation process that I think I'm going through. If you've got any ideas around that out there today, please drop me a note. In particular, if you're an athlete and an endurance athlete and you've been on the carnivore diet for a while, let me know how you're getting on. I want to know whether or not it's something that I'm not adding in my diet that I need. I'm not taking any cheese either. I forgot to mention that earlier on. But I want to know how other people are doing if you're an athlete and how that's affecting your performance. And how long did it take you to get into the area where you were having your full strength back after adapting and transforming to the carnivore diet? So there we go, week 2 out of the way. I hope my videos are of some interest and value to you all. If you're just starting off on your carnivore journey, hang in there, because you do go through a transition phase. It can be quite difficult. I had the keto flu for a couple of days, which is infamous for people who are transitioning onto the carnivore diet. That went away fairly quickly. I popped out the other side and started feeling better, and things started to settle down a little bit after that. So just be recognizing that your own body will tell you what you need, and listen to it. And I think that's the most important thing for all of us, because there are different variations of carnivore diet. People are on different versions, and you will find the right one for you if it's the thing that you're meant to be on. Like a lot of people, it's just an experiment, and if it works out to be good, well, that's fantastic. If not, and you've still got lots of other options for food choices. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching my videos. If you want to continue watching my journey as a 58-year-old professional athlete, my big goal this year is to run the length of the UK, which I'm training for at the moment. I've got a few more months before I start that run at the end of April. A lot of training to do, a lot of adaptation for my diet plan to make sure that I'm in tip-top shape when I take on that 1,500 kilometre run through Scotland, England and Wales. So looking forward to that further down the track. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back soon again in another video. Until then, stay safe and stay well, everyone.